Okay, so here it is. This is actually the sign up page. This is the page that everyone gets forwarded to if they reach the section that they're actually going to need to log in and see. So it's just like the Resistance, where we let people sometimes see the front page. And in fact, we actually were letting people see the whole site. But if you wanted to comment on something, or if you wanted to look into the chat box, you couldn't do it unless you log in. So many of the areas that we have in Secret Energy, because we really do want people to interact, we've left pending to the person actually signing in. So once the person signs in, then they won't actually see this page again. So remember, if you're ever looking for this page again, you actually have to sign out, especially if you're trying to show somebody what's on this page. What'll be here, I do have the tutorial video almost done. Learn More will get you basically to a tutorial and a brief explanation of what the site is really about. Sign up does what it says, log in does what it says. There's also going to be another sign up and log in here. I'm logged in now, so it's not there, but you'll see it. We give an explanation. I guess I could read this. This is the actual opening party, so to not read it now. It's like, okay, you guys can read that later. We'll just keep going now. So I'll read it. It's welcome to Open Source Spirituality, with years of experience in conjunction with monitoring the pros and pitfalls of blending the virtual world with matters of a spiritual nature, a pillar has emerged. And what I mean by that is that we did manage the Resistance platform, hell or high water, for 4 years, with all of the craziness that comes with waking up, like some of the emails that come with it. So in that, I started realizing that there was things that if I had it my way to set it up, I would set it up a different way. And that's what I was saying, that the limitations within Ning didn't allow that. But now this is the pillar that emerges, because it gets rid of a lot of the pitfalls that come with not understanding completely what's going on with managing a social network, let alone a social network based on spiritual expansion. So I say this research and experience has indicated that our users want a complete lifestyle that does not narrow itself to the modern interpretation of spirituality, but takes on all facets of life and strains them through a filter of true consciousness. And what I mean by that is that this whole consciousness thing and spiritual thing has become so one-dimensional in a sense. It's virtually eliminated all forms of life that exist outside of a book or the next best spiritual teacher, or whatever you're learning. And it leaves all the individuals that are on the outside of that, including the world and the people who are yet to find out, also even family, friends, even the nature, or you even getting out of the house. It leaves all that pending and not getting attended to. So what Secret Energy is about is bringing an entire lifestyle of what you could do and what you could wear and what you could see and what you can hear, that will also integrate you with others in their expansion. So that's what this is all about. It's a conscious platform in every tense, and consciousness in a tense can be anything. So this platform features, or even a rating system that does in a tense allow us to rate ourselves with how much we're progressing through this quote unquote consciousness, okay? So I go on that. Since Secret Energy is a 100% curated platform, we either create or source the most pertinent and relative content related to the subject matter. Of course, the subject matter is spirituality from a more expanded level, even advanced intelligence. And we handpick what comes into the platform, so that way we don't end up oversaturated, except for in the forums and things of that nature. And even though we do a basic moderation, the same thing we did at Resistance 2010, but our other areas that we allow others to frequent, or we're asking our members to frequent, we curate those we curate those areas, so that way it produces a very streamlined way for that individual to get to the information that they need. And I guess I should speed this up because there's a lot in here. The first section, actually, this is giving you a brief explanation of the sections. And so I'll give you that brief explanation now, and then I'll go ahead and show you those sections as we go to the home page. One of those areas is In the Know. And In the Know is basically a blog that gives you information in real time in the synchronization of how they're happening and how we're experiencing them. So for those who are especially not really into getting on the computer much and just want to get their information for the day, you go into the platform, you go to the In the Know area, which I'll show you on the home page, and you can see what is the latest updated information. And then you can also go in at night and catch the end of the thread, and then you have everything that you need, and then that's the end. You just log off. The Interversity itself, actually, let me read this. This is In the Know, is a throughput of expression connecting our many synchronicities in real time. Here we source major breakthroughs obtained by thousands of adepts worldwide, because what we're actually going to do is we're going to begin to allow certain individuals to begin to help us curate. And one of those things is the In the Know blog, because when you watch Facebook, like I watch my good friend Luis's page, and his page is always bumping with all sorts of stuff that he just has so many connections to. So it would be great to centralize that information. In this sense, it's Facebook, but it would be great to centralize information like in Secret Energy. But these posts are just amazing. And so it's really where you have at least 2-3 people that have a good connection with all the other information outlets. And then they just source that information in the Know blog, so you get that information. So I really am looking forward to that, because that's probably the only thing that I'm going to be doing, because most of the time to be in the know, you need to be on the go. And so I'm looking to get out from back behind this computer like this last, I don't know, I thought, it's 9 months building this site, but really it's been 6 years, and then getting into more of the projects that I'm going to be talking about later on at the end of this conversation. So moving right along, there is an university, and that to me is the real game changer in us all agreeing to certain things that we're finding to be conducive, or finding to be consistent within all of the information and knowledge that we're learning. Currently, the university has 9 stages, or 9 levels, if you call it that. We're starting all the way from the bottom all the way up. If you've already are on the top, that's great. We can always love to do another circuit, right? So this is about taking it all the way from the bottom, just to make sure that we check house, check temple, and understand exactly what our portals do, and what kind of fields are in the lower worlds versus the upper worlds, what kind of colors are we talking about. All of the detail that many people have been asking for all along about things that we need to do to get in order on the last site. So that's the university. And as it says here, the Neophyte to Adept, our 9-stage curriculum presents an innovative approach to applying ancient knowledge and application in modern times with nothing omitted. And it's because, if you notice here in my notes, this would be my notes. So this notes, and I'll open it up just a little bit here. And I thought about, I was envisioning when I was doing this earlier on the Realm Dynamics Specialist meeting, I really envision us finally doing shows just like this, because it's more easier for me to just go right to information, especially since a lot of stuff on my computer is very cataloged and on my servers. So this is what you're looking at, is you're looking at the notes since we began. And, we're talking about every show after show having core topics. And let me open up one of these here that are conversations between me and friends, because most of the time when I'm building something up, like I even got one in the hole right now, meaning one that's coming out, and I got new notes and things to really let loose and to let other people know about. But what happens is that it's so dense, the information, meaning that it's so much knowledge, you do have to start to write down things and record things. And so that's what all my notes are really about. They're the recordings of the keys to different conversations that have taken place in a methodical order of our spiritual process in what we call the occultation, in the know, etc. And so what I'm going to be doing when I fill out this university and the first course is already ready is I'm just going to be going through my notes and then sorting the information based on how we came into that knowledge. So this will be something that's already been tried and tested for us to continue to expand off of. Spiritual careers is also here. This is where we have now began to really employ people and get them involved in what we call karma-free wealth. This is things that they can do with assisting others, especially with the products, and even in educating themselves about their own body, mind, body, and soul. And we just opened up a new facet that's actually even allowing people to have a Realm Dynamic store on their website. So if they don't have a store, but they do work with something like holistics or their health coaches, etc., now they have something to bolt on that gives them something new to talk about, and also has a very firm knowledge base and help desk 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for them to rely on. But that's just a whole nother conversation. But realize that we are making efforts now to get people actually paid. The other thing is that one of my favorite sections here is actually Ask. And Ask is a very dynamic part of the site, and it has its features now. I believe it's about 200 to 300 questions. They're the questions that people have asked me over a prolonged period of time. We've, of course, removed any kind of private information and then also simplified the question. And we've put those questions into a certain part of the platform where everyone has an opportunity to answer those questions. And then the best answers get rated, and so that pushes the best answers on top. We've also incorporated the secret energy store here now, which is very similar to Realm Dynamics. So now you don't have to go out to another site to find the supplements that you need. And also, you can ask information about things in the chat box or in the forum, and then link them directly to things that are actually on this, or stuff that's actually on the site. And so what you see here, because this is just in every tense of skeleton, like it's going to grow and get so well manicured that you would literally be able to go in here, hit the search bar, look for what you want, and then find it immediately, and then go about your business rather than spending hours and hours trying to figure out, should I really vaccinate my child? Or some of the major questions that you get opposing answers to, especially when you get the trolls going on. Speaking of trolls, let me check on the chat box here. Wow, nobody's saying anything. Okay, are we still connected? Can somebody say that we're still connected? Just to make sure, just type a yes. And then also, if, you know, because I've refreshed myself to what goes on in the chat box. Sometime, if it gets out of control in the chat box, you're going to get removed. So it's better just to be easy. And I haven't seen any kind of crazy activity yet, except for when we had that situation going on. But right now, it looks like things are okay. So I'm going to ask one more time, if you can actually hear me, to just type yes in the chat box. Nobody has done that yet. So I'm going to take a moment to make sure that I'm still coming through loud and clear. Also, this thing does have a little lag on it, which was the whole reason why I went through that whole thing earlier today to use that other system so we would be on the phone in real time. But man, was that not the greatest idea? But maybe so, because like I said, I felt like it really gave everyone an example that, you know, we're still pushing hard through this. So once again, I'm still waiting on someone to type in the chat box. And I think that it is just probably like 5 minutes behind. And so because of that, it may take a minute for everyone to even hear what I'm saying. So I'm just still going to take a moment, because there's no real rush, except for if for some reason we're not broadcasting. Yeah, I see my hand wave. Okay, so maybe my chat is out of whack. So let me check it again. I think somebody hit chat. Somebody hit yes in the other chat box. Is that you, Josh? Okay, so let me see here. I just refreshed my page. Okay, great. Yeah, my chat box had frozen. Excuse me, everyone. Yeah, you know how it is. It's this live stream. I guess we haven't had a show in so long. They're like, oh, this count is like deactivated. We don't even need to put that much bandwidth on this. And then all of a sudden, 300 people on one day. Okay, so here we go. Let me go back over here. And I'm sure this thing will work even clearer if I just go ahead and shut this down. I'm going to use the lights over here to let me know if anything is going on, and I'm going to go ahead and shut this down so that way we have even more bandwidth. More. Okay, so we have the secret energy store, which we left off at, and then there's a whole illustration and documentary section, which I'd rather just show you. And rather than me reading all this stuff to you, you can just read it yourself. And in fact, I am also going to go through this, and I'm going to go through it very detailed, but I am going to respect everyone's time. I will answer questions once this whole thing is over, but I'm not going to hold you here for 3-4 hours. I mean, unless, again, people have questions, I will answer those questions. But once we are ready to adjourn, I'm going to go ahead and go on with it, and then get this stuff activated so people can get into the site and start experiencing what's here. Also, there was actually, let me get my notes out here, there was some announcements, some things that I did need to make you aware of before you did start browsing. And so let me find out where those were. They were actually open here for a moment, but not anymore. So actually, yeah, is this it? Yeah, okay. So we already made the announcements. It's Earth Day and the Resistance's 6th anniversary, and then also the launch of Secret Energy, which are present for now, okay? So here's a couple of details that you need to understand about how this is gonna work with us launching the site. First of all, the main thing that I said I was concerned about earlier is actually our load calculation. And how that works is that the more people that log onto the site, the servers decide, and there's 2 of them, how to balance the load. But if they get inundated with a bunch of queries all at one time, it doesn't have a chance to do the protocols to give it load balancing. So for the first few days, definitely expect a little bit of slowdown. And then we're also going to make the determination if we need to activate the CDN. A CDN is called a Content Distribution Network. And what that means is that another site will hold all of our pictures and a lot of our content, and then source those pictures and those contents to the person that's trying to access it in real time from an area that's closer to them. So we haven't activated that yet. I don't know if we're even going to need it or not, but as of now, it's not activated, and we're going to see if we need it. Let me see. How big are we going to get? That is exactly what we are attempting to determine, and sky is no longer the limit. If we get really big, we're just going to hit the switch, and then that will give everyone a lot more room. So a few days experiencing maybe a little bit of slowdown, and then things will actually clear up. You can talk to your Facebook friends in chat. This is one of my, I just giggle every time I think about this feature because it's glorious, because there's now no actual excuse of why to actually even be on Facebook. And I'm going to show you why. And let me go to the home page here, because this page is known to be not exactly functionable with chat, because it is not a page that people should be on and actually be able to chat. So I'm going to the home page really briefly just to show you how I get into my Facebook. So I click on here to connect to Facebook. Let's hope this doesn't kill all my bandwidth, because I got a lot of friends these days. And so what happens is, so if you're doing this, what you'll notice is that I just connected to my Facebook and it's processing a login, right? And then if you look down here, and let me blow this up just a little bit. If you look down here, it shows you the site users, okay? And right now it's saying you have no Facebook friends, right? And that's just because you're going to have to refresh your page. So when you hit enter, and then it gets a refresh, now when you go back to your page, you see now 341 I'm seeing down here. These are people online that are also on Facebook that I can talk to. I'm going to email somebody. Are you at the SE opening? And so that's how it works. You can actually text your friends from inside of Secret Energy, so you get a chance to share links to different things in Secret Energy. So if I jump over to the documentary section real briefly, and first of all, everything is well manicured and very nice. I wanted to give out special thanks to Sonia at Skinny Creative, who helped me put the site together and let me understand the boundaries of the color scheme. That way you just don't got a fat rainbow going on. So I'll show you. You just send them the link, and then that goes into Facebook, and they can actually click on the link in Facebook. So that's a really awesome feature that I feel like is great, because you get a chance to still stay in touch with your people on Facebook while at the same time being inside of Secret Energy. And then you can also begin to share things inside of Secret Energy that you're finding that's very useful that you're getting off of Facebook, still realizing that we're going to curate it for you. So it does require you to actually get some stuff that is not oversaturated and not disinformation. So to understand, the site is hosted offshore. So this means that all of your personal data, such as your emails and your communication that have to be handled by our servers, are going through a secure server that does not abide by any of these acts that they're coming up with. And it's just because it's in a country that has already dealt with the fallout of a destabilized economy, et cetera, et cetera. And that's, of course, the Netherlands, and those places there have already lost their economy and built things back up that wasn't so much abiding by the laws of the banksters. So this is hosted offshore. So we protect your information and we respect your privacy. There is a master curation, as I talked to you about earlier. I'm going to read these from left to right. There's a rating algorithm, and that's the ask section that we're going to show you here in a moment with all the questions. There's a massive library in here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be contributing to that library with another area that gives you like the weekly reader, or books that you should probably read as soon as possible, more so than going through thousands of books that can at times confuse you. We have those InterVersity courses. We have classifieds for artisans opening up soon. We're just figuring out the fine details to that, but that means that members will actually get an opportunity to sell things to other members that they create. Conscious Directory, which you'll see in just a moment, which is basically a directory of professionals and individuals that we know have been delivering a very amazing message for a prolonged period. And actually, this should say conscious directories, because there's actually more than one directory. There are websites, there's radio shows, and there's professionals. Outstanding support, and this is because we're going to be rolling in that Robin platform, which is on Realm Dynamics now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you need assistance with something, somebody will be there to assist you with that. That's another big thing, but we've had that up for a while now, but now it'll be related directly to the site. We couldn't actually build it in Ning because yet it couldn't handle that either. Karma-free careers, we talked about that earlier. That in the know, which is basically information in real time. Live broadcast, because we're going to embed the live stream right into the site, and we're going to start doing these advanced intelligence shows, and that should be very awesome, especially with recently the information has just been so potent. Getting on any radio show is like getting on brakes. It's like, once you start getting going, here comes another, your Patriot supply. Here, you're going to die tomorrow. Here's some seeds for 25 years. You know, that whole craziness going on, and that you got to be exposed to after hearing about the Arabot, the keepers of the key, the riders of the light, you know, all the expansion of the whole thing. And then somebody slams you right back into the matrix. So Fringe, it's always going to be going on. We even have some new things that we're rolling out, especially in conjunction with Spirit Tech. And there's going to be some things that we begin to create that are going to supply the body with the free energy that it needs to create that perpetual motion. There's a footer here, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Let me back down the size of the pages, and let's go ahead and dive right in to the home page, which I had open just a minute ago. Let me go ahead and check back into the live stream. I'm just paranoid. No, actually, everything's working. I can tell everything's working. It's solid right now. So if it's not working on your end, that means you need to refresh. This is the main page, and what this page is the first thing you need to know is that let me go ahead and close this down. Just do that, just so that way you can have actually everything you need there. Just had to get some water really briefly. Okay, so this menu is your best friend. On the website, because there are quite a few areas, sometimes you can get into areas, and if you don't follow the breadcrumbs, which I'll show you here in a moment what those are, if you don't follow the breadcrumbs, it may be a little bit difficult for you to figure out how to get back to a certain page. So how you do that, in most cases, is you go into the menu, which is here, and then you find the area that you were looking at before. And you know what? Let me switch this up real quick, because here's another thing that I noticed that, and well, it's not something you notice, it's something that you learned, that each website displays pages differently. And it just so happens that Firefox, in this we're talking about fonts and we're talking about things like that. And it just so happens that Firefox actually displays fonts and things clearer than Google Chrome. You know, somebody said, well, that doesn't matter to me, show me the books. But, you know, FYI, for the stickler for detail, if you're looking at the font and the font is blurry, it's because Chrome, it has an issue with displaying fonts. So here we go again. You probably won't be able to notice that difference on live stream, but it's definitely a big difference for me even looking at it here. But now you can see things a lot more clearly, and not that you can't read it on Chrome, but you can read it a lot clearer on Firefox. So here we go again. And as I was explaining before, this menu is your best friend. And you can find all the areas, especially the ones that I was talking about, by going through this menu. And in most cases, that's what you're going to be using throughout the site to begin to navigate to areas. What you do have, though, is that you have the main areas that you can actually go to here. That's, of course, the university. Explore, which is a whole area, okay? Documentaries, illustrations, the ask section, that's what we're calling it, the question and answer, and then the store. So those are the main areas of the site. So even if you're on like a PDA or something, these are the buttons that probably you use more so than the menu. What's here is the area that you'll constantly see different things being featured. Right now, it's really the stuff that we want you to pay attention to the most. In this case, there is, again, the Spirit Tech Specialist Directory. You can look over the individuals that have become specialists and see if you can find someone that actually wants to assist you with whatever you're experiencing, or find someone there that you want to assist you, etc. There's the book. This navigates to the book area. This navigates to AstroQuest the Podomatic right now. This is also asking if you have any content that you would like to submit, or suggestions, website people, that you don't see featured. You can go here, and we're going to click on all this stuff in a moment and see where it takes you. But I'm just going to do an overview, then I'm click on links and keep moving from there, because as I said, if we don't tackle this a certain way, we could really be here all night. Because again, the site, if it took this long to build for me, it was because we really, really made it all-inclusive. So this is an all-inclusive website. That's why I say you don't even have to really, if you're going to use the internet, you don't have to really leave and go to Facebook or any of that kind of stuff. You can get it all from here. And then, of course, with the In the Know blog, if you just want to, if you're really looking to get on internet rehab, you can just go ahead and go right to the In the Know blog, which is here, get what you need really briefly, and go ahead and dip. So this is the blog. And as you can see here, there's some stuff in here already. This is just things that we were populating it with, but still some stuff that you could take a look at now. Actually, even the new show, which was up yesterday, is there. But this is where you'll be able to get your updates and find everything that you need rather rapidly. So this will be very useful, especially for, again, the individuals who don't want to be on this websites for a long time. Now, the In the Know is different than the blog, and it's because we don't feature everything in the Know area. And it's because we don't want to saturate that area at all, but some things are kind of secondary, but just as important. And so what you'll see is if you go to the actual blog, you'll find other entries here that are not on the main page, especially more so later than now. So let's go ahead and go back to the home page so we don't miss those banners, because there's some things that you need to check out. And I guess rather than doing this way out, because there's certain things I don't want to cover right now, so just let me take a moment to take a look here. If you have suggestions for content, because that'll be something that I won't see later on anywhere to remind you about, I just right-click that and opened it. And it appears here, what appears here is a form. You put your name, your email address, and your date if you want, mainly your name, the kind of information you have. You click here. This opens up a drop box where you could just drop the information right into. And then you go ahead and just fill the rest of this out. And if anything in special instructions, just say it's in the drop box and submit the form. Someone will go in there and get it. This is where you would drop it at, and then they'll get it sorted in. Let me see. You already know about AstroQuest's Podomatic. That's just where all the recordings are being kept and still being kept. It's more of an archive. Excuse me. That actually gets you to the AstroQuest series, which is something that we put together. It's all the AstroQuest seasons. So you'll see here, go to season 2, right? So this is that. It's going to take you to season 3, obviously, that one banner, because that's the most recent season. And then obviously season 2 is here, because some people have not been able to actually find where all these episodes are. There's one that still needs to be reloaded again. But this is seasons 1, 2, and 3 here. So let's go ahead and close that. Some stuff about the store, cleaning yourself, etc. And as I said, the more we get into this, then we're able to work directly on the content, even though, the stuff that's here you can see now. But a lot of the stuff in the common areas like the forum, the blog, and these kind of areas are what we just put there now. All right, so that's really the main page, beside, things that I'm going to show you later on that involve something else. And so that's your main page. So I'm going to go ahead. And as we just talked about before, you can head to the blog, and then you've seen the blog. And then now we're going to go to what's next, which is basically the area of exploration. And this area of exploration allows you to view the documentaries, the illustrations, the directory for shows and stations, the directory for conscious websites, the directory for real news, and then also the resources for soundscapes. And I actually may move that over to resources later. But let's go ahead and look at some of those areas. We're going to open up documentaries, and we're going to open up illustrations, and we're going to take a look at those first. So documentaries is the area that features, documentaries. But in the categories that you're looking for, we have culture and creativity, technology and fringe, nature and the universe, spiritual motivation, cures and ethogens, war and conspiracy, life and film, health and food, and the DIY instructional. And all you would do is you would click on the area that you want to go to. In this case, I clicked on nature and the universe. And then I'd be navigated to a page with multiple videos on nature and the universe, also rated to what people like to view the most. So you can also rate here what you really liked. The good thing about all this is that I come across some really, really nice stuff all day, all night, baby. And what happens is that I don't have the ability, again, to just source that right away. I didn't have that before. But now I can even do it from my phone. I could just boom, boom, and then all of a sudden you get it. And again, because there's so many of us, we have so many eyes out there, we're able to get things that are really, really fresh, that maybe only have 200-300 views on them, but are cracking the whole thing wide open. But here you'll be able to find all the videos related to nature and what's going on, nature in the universe. We do our best to sort things properly. If you find things that are out of place, or if you find bugs or problems, you can actually submit this. You can see many of these pages are very long with content, and we're going to hit some pagination in there. You can also report any issue down here in customer service. Talk about that early. When you find an issue or bug or problem, or you have something to report, you click on report an issue. You get to this page. This page asks basically what kind of issue it is, so that way it gets you to the right form. There's a general form here for you to contact us just on something general. And then if there's any bugs when you report them to us, we'll let you know here. And this generally should be on the top, but I think it was just making things ugly. But we'll record what the issue is, and then also if we know about it. So this may be somewhere that you should check before you report an issue. That way you don't waste all your time typing up stuff, screenshotting things, and then you figure out that, we already knew about it. So we generally will keep that up to date. And this is another form that you can fill out, especially if you're testing the site. We do need people to still test the site, especially with the mobile device, and then to let us know if there's anything that's not appearing correctly. Okay, so you can fill out this form and give us that information. So this is the documentaries area as we were talking about, and then you can see it's filled with a plethora of different types of documentaries, great stuff that will be continuously loaded on a consistent basis by individuals that really do find the best documentaries and best videos to take a look at. Close this page. Here, now we're in illustrations. This is going to be a favorite area for many people. I obviously have a very large image library of a lot of different things, and I've been wanting to share that library for a while, and so finally I'm able to do that, and that's here in the illustrations area, and as you can see, it's replete. It has every single thing that you can really be thinking about to look at and to look for. There's even a little comedy in there. Remember, this is still a spiritual website, if you want to use that term. It's a website on consciousness, so it does always center around that, and you'll always find things related to that. But again, we expand a lot further than what you would see most capable of doing. And here's another area that's awesome. This is actually where you get some breakdowns of some categories, and the reason is that if you go here, I'm going a little fast, so let me slow down, to cultures, obviously there's not just one culture, so it's impossible to put just one library. So what happens is that the second thing is you determine kind of what culture you want to take a look at. And then, you navigate to that area. So in this case, we'll take a look at Alkebulan. And I click that. And then I get to the page with the imagery for Alkebulan. And depending upon the size of these libraries, just so you're aware, you may need to wait a couple seconds for it to get ready, for it to load that first segment. But as you see here, you find beautiful imagery. The way this is tiled is actually called masonry. It has nothing to do with secret societies, but more so to how things are built. Or maybe that does have something to do with secret societies, who knows? It looks like a lot of buildings in here. So what happens is that you find, I guess a secret society would be societies you don't know about anymore too. Societies that they've hidden. Oh, it's a secret. You don't know anything about those societies anymore, people. So what happens is that you find all the imagery here, and you can go through that imagery, and obviously we'll continuously populate these areas. But right now, it's some nice stuff in here, and we do our best to keep the descriptions going on. But we'll also, when going more open source, images that don't have descriptions, we'll be getting individuals to come in and to actually fill those descriptions and things in, because some people really find that as their fancy. So all these areas, we couldn't go through all of them now at all. What we've done, though, is it's important to mention that there's certain libraries that actually can't be accessed right now. And the reason is because we're working out some things with the platform that actually were the issue with the Resistance 2010 platform. And one of those issues was we have a lot of access to different types of information. And in many instances, it takes maturity to be able to dissect that information and to not be, in a sentence, led by that information. So there is somewhat of a frenzy that goes on, especially when the individual is first getting into their own expansion. And that's basically finding the next big head honcho to bow down to, worship, or to call themselves or name themselves. So what ended up happening was I saw a lot of individuals that had taken their Facebook profiles and changed them to pictures that I had posted up of entities that, weren't necessarily things that you would want to be associated with directly, but just doing it because of the immaturity and not having the, you know, just really the immaturity. So what I decided was, and this library is actually not the greatest example of it, and it tends to the potency of the information, but what I decided is I decided to allow individuals who wanted to view certain libraries to do so by the accolades that they achieved inside the platform. Because I actually heard someone say earlier that they didn't know why we had badges. I'm not sure if that was actually directly related to us or why there's ranking within the platform. And it's because that actually several reasons. One of the main reasons is somebody's going off to you about how they've been here and they've done that and they know this and they know that and you should believe in them, you should believe in what they say, blah, blah, blah. There is a way to really check and see now if they've really put themselves through the hoops of understanding exactly how their whole system is constructed, meaning there's an university here. So if you've gone through certain courses, that's kind of like the clear proof that the individual is in possession of certain levels of information or in the know to a certain degree. So also how this works is that, especially for specialists, if you're looking to have a specialist assist you, a good place to start would be their profile. And this, of course, will get more integral as we go on. But as you see with this profile, and it's not like I'm trying to give myself all the accolades, but I do have to teach the courses. But it's a good example of how it would work. And we're going to be coming up with different types of badges and awards for different types of achievements in the platform. And this is really what you call gamifying a platform to make it a little bit interesting to, what you can actually do here. Like we even award badges and things for people who just share information. We award badges and things for people who answer questions. We give badges and things for people who give us information, books, things like that. And there's different badges for different types of feats. And those badges also have what we call joules, which is spelled Joules, which is actually a cognate of energy. It's how you measure energy. And then those joules are later on able to be used. If you see here, you go to, and every profile has this, you go down to your current, and then you can see your joules here. And those joules can be used to purchase things inside of the store, to do many different things, to get equipment, to get shirts, different things like that we have that we're going to make available. So I think it was an excellent idea to make this move and to offer a lot more incentive for people that want to interact with the platform and want to contribute, and then also want to receive the reciprocation for what they've done. So that's how we're doing it. And so as you see here, this is a good example of one of the libraries that may have been a little bit under the restriction. I think it is under the restriction until the person goes through at least the first course on the site. And then when they go through the first, I believe actually this library is the second course. Once they go through the second course, then they'll be able to access these libraries because it does contain very potent information and knowledge that doesn't need to be misused, but things that for the adept, again, when seeing is believing, or also they're wanting to confirm certain things, they can find the imagery necessary to make that confirmation. So there you have it. That's the illustrations and documentaries area. Obviously, it's vast, so even trying to go through it right now would not even be doing it justice. So we'll keep going to a good example of how the directories are laid out. But before we do that, let me go back to LiveStation real briefly and just check and make sure that it's still happening. So let me see, livestation.com/AstroQuest/secret energy. Just making sure, you know how we always have to fly back through. Oops, I did that wrong. There's no quest in here. There we go. All right, let me take a look. Log in. Is that thing on over here? Yeah. One more time. Okay, everyone, just hold on for a quick second for me. I'm going to log into the platform and make sure that we're A-OK and ready to keep broadcasting. Okay. What I found out is that for those that may be complaining about freezing issues, it is really related to your connection. If I lower the quality of the audio right now, then it will, or the video and the audio, then it would be somewhat non-legible especially for some of the words that people are going to need to see. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and leave it as it is now. Remember that once this is over with, we can download it and we'll upload it again, and then you can check it out. We'll also do some post-production to it to cut out some of the blank areas. Some of the areas I'm going off to the, get water and those kind of things. And then you'll have that recording to go back through at your leisure. Also, there'll be a tutorial on the site that'll be available that'll be a lot shorter, so you can take a look at that. So we're going to go ahead and keep going here. I did close the window so it won't pull down bandwidth. We were still in Explore, and then we're going to give you a good example of shows and stations. So here we are. We've arrived at the shows and stations. And what you have here is the area that is going to give you all of the stations and networks that are on the internet, not all of them, but the ones that we have listened to over a year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 6 year period, that we know have bought knowledge and bought information that we felt was very imperative to our growth. Now, we don't subscribe to everything that a person is saying on these shows. However, what we decided, instead of us being the judge, now obviously the Pope's not here, but anything that we found that was still above a certain level in a certain tense to assisting a person, wasn't disinformation, etc., we put here. Many of these people we know and we're affiliated with one way or another. Some of them we are not. But the good thing is that it's up to you to decide who's going where, because you get a chance to rate the individual or the show, the content, whatever. And then the higher rating shows and content go to the top, while the lower rated shows and contents go to the bottom. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow you to immediately go to the top of the page if you want. Like I said, we're in internet rehab, so we want to cut down time in the internet. So we go right to the top, and then we find the shows that are going to be giving us, and I did vote on the show myself, but that's just one vote, so somebody can knock that down. 2 people, 3 people can knock that down if they want to, but I'm going to vote for myself. So the reality is that when you vote, the one that's voted the most and the highest goes to the top. The ones that are not go to the bottom. It's as simple as that. So let's keep going through this. Okay, so I'm using my menu now because, as you see, it happens. You start looking at it like, okay, where was I at? So we were at shows and stations. So now we're going to go to conscious websites, and you get another directory. And these are the directories of the conscious websites that are on the internet. And we've reached a large scope. We're still adding sites, but what's here is, obviously I have to do this. I have to look at information, I have to look at content. I listen to people, I talk to people. People email me, so I'm in the know because I choose to be about what's going on out there. And so what I've done is I've just put that information here and it's centralized. Now, what we've done is we link their site and their information, like where they are. So this is a directory. They have an opportunity if they want to come on to Secret Energy and then build their own page. And then when a person clicks SE profile, it'll take them right to the page, but that's their choice. So for now, we just have a link to their site and then a brief synopsis of what they're about. And that's how that works. And then again, this is stuff that for people, especially who've been looking into this for a while, the consciousness, especially abroad, they are aware of many of these sites and many they're not. So let's keep moving through. Real news. So I don't stick my head in the sand. Like I do look at news. I still find out what's going on around me, but I don't look at CNN. And so what I do is I've found networks that I feel like, and these networks can be rated also, same thing as the other areas. We're going to be buffing this out a little bit more. I feel like they give a little bit more of a broader scope of what's going on in the world and what's happening. And then this live station, which I'm not sure if many people have used, it's not live stream, it's live station. But it's basically a hub of all the news networks in real time. So you can really, any major news network, you can go to live station and actually get a live feed to that news station. So that's linked there. Let's keep going. We got Soundscape. So this is where we start now. We're getting now into the resources that are built within the platform, like things that you can use that are found on the platform to expand your consciousness. And this one is a soundscaping, and that's basically controlling the frequencies and the sound in the environment. So in this case now we've featured Animal and Nature Orchestra. Some have seen that before, but if you haven't, you can actually set what animal you want to hear. Where you can actually blend all the entire environment, trees, forests, different places in forests, those kind of things. You do all that down here. Then you let that play and you let it run. And then what that does is that actually, gives you something to go to sleep to. I mean, it just continues to loop and then you never hear the same sound twice. So it's another amazing tool. Same thing here with the isochronic generator. For those who are looking for isochronic beats, you'll find them there. That'll actually get you to the website that actually hosts that. We did not embed that directly into the platform. But here you can pick out your isochronic tones. Oh, that sounded good for a minute. Let me just turn that back on for a minute. All right. So here you also find an atmosphere generator, and then here's another environment generator. So those are tools that you can actually use that, will allow you to assist yourself with controlling the environment. Right here in Learn, so now we're off of the Explore tab. We're going into Learn. We're at the University. Listen, I'm right-clicking these, so that way I always have that reference point page. So I'm here now in the University, and the University gives you all the knowledge. Well, this page gives you all the knowledge about how the university is set up, the stages of the university, and then also the current curriculum that we're on, because this is really like a university in the sense to, we go into semester in June. We then do the first course, which is our Netherworld course. And then once that course is complete, we package that course. A person can always take that course. In fact, they really need to take that course before they can actually take the second course, the third course, first course as we progress. If the person is in the platform in real time, then obviously they're going to be taking these courses in line as the season comes in, and then we're going to let out for a while, and then we're going to come back in on the foundation, let out for a while, come back in on plasma. So they'll basically be getting their degree in this knowledge about themselves. And so that's how that's set up. And as you see now, we don't announce the information of what the curriculum is actually going to entail beforehand. We may actually do one ahead, which I was going to do the foundation. But for the Netherworld, if you want to know what that course actually entails, you can actually go here now and you can read through that course. And then what we're going to allow is, before June, in May, is to allow people to begin to sign up. And as you sign up for the course, we have two different things going on with the course. We do also offer in a certain tense tuitions and different things a person can do if they're not in the position to pay for the course. That's fine. Then we can find something for you to do that will really allow you to stay balanced in a certain tense with not just pulling from things, but also be able to attend those courses. But for the individuals that want to attend those courses, they're here. And then there's other things that we recommend that you may want to have with you when you're on the course. And none of this stuff is available actually now because we're going to be launching the course in June, so we don't want people to reserve different things now and then it gets all out of line. So you won't even see any of the stuff related to this when you do log in, but I'm just showing it to you now. So you'll be able to go into the course. You'll be able to get the things that are recommended for you to have during the course. And then, you'll be really set and ready to go once the course launches. We'll do it via live stream. Each course, I believe, is about, it's a month, but it's 15 days because we work with like 3 days out of the week. And so it's very integrative. Like it's a whole regimen. And so it's just amazing that we finally got to the point to be able to bring out the information like this to teach you different things. This, you can, again, read this, but some of this stuff is like Celestial Mechanics 101, the bodies, the vehicles, the portals, the chakras, universal triangulation as determining your astral spiritual position now, the current techniques of how to get high on air that we talked about earlier, sexual energy, its use, its proper management. So, and that's just the spiritual dynamic. We'll cover the mental dynamic. We'll also cover the physical dynamic. And we'll do that all in a certain time period. And then so you'll be able to really, really expand with one of these courses. And as you keep going through, you'll just keep leveling up. And then obviously as you go through courses, you also get the badges that correspond to those courses. So it lets other people know exactly how far you've expanded in this. In addition to that, though they're not set up now, but you'll be able to go here to chat rooms, which is the icon next to home. And then inside of chat rooms, you'll see chat rooms for every course. And then when you sign up for a course, you'll have the course password. And then you'll be able to jump into the room of the individuals that are taking that course. And so that also gives you a lot of incentive to go through these courses because obviously a world builder is going to have a decent level of information and expansion. So also we're thinking about individuals and the ones to come, because some people are going to come in like 5 months from now and they're going to be new, And let's say in about 2 years from now, some new people are going to be coming in. There's going to be people in the World Builder chat room, but there'll be no overlapping, meaning that there's a general chat room. Everyone can be in there. But as far as individuals that are just looking directly to keep expanding on something specific and don't want to get sidetracked, they will generally inhabit the chat rooms that are here or in the corresponding levels that they're on, because there'll be people there that have actually gone through the previous courses and are also serious about their expansion. So I think that's a very unique way. And as I said, we're not separating anyone, because there is a general chat room that we all can participate in. In fact, that's the one that's listed here. It's called the public chat room. Let me see, please select the public chat room. There it is. And so I'm now in the public chat room. And so that's the chat room that you'll see pretty much everyone in most of the time. And that's actually how you have to access it. So it's not like on the Resistance website where you hit something and then it all goes into the common chat box right away. This works a bit different. You select the chat room from the lobby that you want to be in. There'll be other chat rooms in this lobby that will pertain to the courses. And then you get a chance to go into those chat rooms if you have the password. So I just wanted to explain that, so you know that there's going to be individuals in those chat rooms that are really chopping up on something that is going to be expanded, versus being in that chat room with the person who is really just looking to get banned. You know how it happens sometimes. Same thing here. Now we have a spiritual advisor directory, which I feel like people choose to use on a consistent basis because it actually features the individuals that we've been looking at all this time and that have been teaching us different levels of knowledge, and finally all under one roof, so that way we can get a good idea of who's who and what's what. And so this is everyone here, and as you can see, it does go on and it's quite extensive, and it's everyone that we know about except for some of them that we don't want to know about. But overall, even no matter what kind of message they're actually bringing, unless it's just completely off the wall, we've given them consideration, and in many instances, if they've done their work, then we put them here, and then we put the rating system. So it's really up to you to decide, who's who and what's what, not us. I keep going through this. I was wondering why am I getting a little disorientated, like I want to fly off, and it's because of the isochronic. I was like, what's happening to me? Those isochronics, boy, you'll be gone somewhere. All right, so I'm back. Okay, so I was fading away. I was okay, and then, let's get to the end of this already. Like, I'm ready to go meditate. So this is the libraries area. What we've done now is we began to populate it with books. And how this works, and I won't spend too much time on these areas, but you can go in. There's each author that has covered spiritual knowledge that, has ever gained some kind of notoriety. And as it is with books, there's way more books than everything else. So we've done a good job at making sure we pack that library. And then how that works is, let me see my screen. How large is my screen here? And this, okay, I did make it larger, but I think I'm a little bit too large. So what happens is, you go here, you click on your book, and just like the old library, the book will pop open, right? And then you can go through that book by just clicking right here. It's not pixelated. You just wait for a second. The picture will come into focus. It's loading the page, and bam, and you get a chance to read. And so that's the library. And then obviously we're going to have a featured library section. So that's going to be even more amazing to use, because we'll pull out the books that we know contain that grade A, and then we'll host it, and you'll be able to go into there. And then we'll probably even include an audio copy, because that's really how I like to bundle the books. We have groups. These groups will also be where we host a lot of the, how can I put it, the open source projects. The open source projects, such as like one of the open source projects we're going to start first is a curriculum for homeschool. And so you'll see the curriculum from homeschool group pop up. You can join that group, and then that group also has its own forum. I'm going here to Ascension Techniques very briefly, and then you'll notice there's a forum here. And then inside of that forum, you'll be able to comment back and forth with people and to share, and you'll be able to share information and attach pictures and videos and links and all that kind of stuff. And I believe that this is going to be another very massive tool for us to get with other individuals that are already schooled on something, learn from them, and also allow them to do their purpose, which is also to not only teach us, but to develop something, especially that's methodical, that's going to assist everyone without carrying the whole weight of having to do everything themselves. So if they got all the information, but they don't know anything about computers and they don't want to deal with computers, then we got a person that deals with computers but doesn't have the information. So this is the kind of pairing that we'll do with getting a lot of the open source projects that we're going to be doing here in the future really together and in this think tank and then solved. Let's see, we went through resources. Actually, excuse me, we didn't even finish Learn yet. Tuition is there. That actually links you to the page that gives you explanations on the tuitions for the courses. And then also the products that we recommend during the courses. You can look at that at your leisure, but those are here. But that's how you would get there, as you go to tuitions. In resources, there's the members classified area. That's where you would find it. It's being built out now, but there was no members yet, so there could be no classifieds. Same thing with professionals. These are what you'll find in this area will be another directory that will look very similar to the other directories, but it will have people who are professionals at what they do, whether they build websites or they're attorneys or you name it, but they will also have a conscious structure about themselves. So that will allow you to be able to get someone that can help you with something because you're looking for a professional to do something, but also someone who has the integrity and that's going to be able to work on your project or whatever it is that you actually need with the same level of care that you would work on it yourself with. So I believe that's another great idea because I have to at times deal with stuff that takes a skill set or is of a technical nature. And because I can't find directly many of the individuals that are quote unquote conscious, then I have to go out to places such as, what do you call that? Not Kickstarter, but Freelancer. And these kind of places and totally get robbed or, the individual that just doesn't care anything about what you're doing, or maybe someone who even is opposed to what you're doing and then may cause some issues for you. You get all that going on if you just have to go out and just go random with who you choose to get something done because you're looking for that person with the skill set. So this professionals area will allow you to find people that actually have that skill set, and they'll be listed here. There is actually a professionals application that I need to, list. It's already complete, but I do need to embed it here. So those of you that are professionals in one arena or another and you want to submit your information to be there, you can begin to do that now. So we'll go ahead and navigate to the store. We won't spend too long there. It's just a lot more, it's really straight to the point. Again, very similar to how Rel Dynamics functions. You find all the categories, even tuitions for the products. You can navigate to those products and then you can begin to read the information of those products. Those are categories and then subcategories and then the products. You'll also be able to see here on the right side the top rated products or the products that are also highest recommended. You'll also be able to search here for information related to certain things that you're looking for to get fixed, and also even post and things that are related to what you may have as a situation within the platform. So that's how that works. Here's one of my favorite areas. It's the ask area that I was talking to you about earlier. And this is the area where a person's asking a question. They have ringing in the ears. We'll go down a little bit. How can one distinguish intuition from ego? Even more. Many of us love to get in here, especially if we have a little time. It's a weekend. We love to assist. We may get in here and start answering maybe 4 or 5 of these questions. How it's going to work in the platform for those who have the question about, what else is going on with the badges is, we're integrating a system now. It's not in yet. We tried to install it before we launched, and it didn't work because we needed to do it another way. But instead of spending time on it, we just reverted back to our old system, which is this one. And they look exactly the same, except for the other one underneath. It has the integration that allows us to, when you answer a question, then we're able to award jewels for answering questions just on random. Not so much as what that question is about, but if that answer is about, just for making that effort and answering that question. If the answer is continuously rated, because there's other individuals coming in that they love the answer to it, it's been thought out really well and some intention has been put into it. If a person adds, pushes up on it, let me see here, let me go here. I think I'm getting I haven't ate all day. I do need a little something. I don't want to be a breatharian right now, but I was planning on just kind of coming in, staying fresh. I didn't really need anything to eat anything. I was going to go ahead and do the show, adjourn at 2:21, which was going to be 3:21 for Central Time, and then go on to my thing. And that was the plan. But as you see, that we had a little situation to deal with. So here's how a person will rate an answer up or down. And when they do that, depending upon what answer that is, that person will get jewels if it's rated up. So that also, it's just other ways to see, if you put some work in on that question, if it keeps getting rated up, the jewels are continuing to go higher and higher, you're doing it, because this is really, it's all of us saying what the standard is. But to have no standard, we just a free for all. You'd be like Ashtar Command's website. It's just all over the place and everyone's saying everything. And there's yellow orbs coming into the room and talking to people about something that's non-applicable to this reality. But you just get a free for all. But with this platform, the way that it's set up is it's set up that the more you put into it, the more that it actually gives out. Even if you put anything into it, it's going to give a lot back. And then if you're just an individual that's there and you're really trying to soak it up right now because you're healing, it also has that for you also. Let me see this real quick, 1 second. Forums, obviously. The forums are here. For those that want to know, we are going to be exporting information from the Resistance platform, obviously, into Secret Energy, but the Resistance platform will probably be up indefinitely. We'll just at least keep it as an archive, but we are looking to pull most of the information that's useful from there and to put it here, because this is going to be the site that primarily people pay attention to. You can also get to the groups forums down here where it says Secret Energy Groups. You can go there and then you can find those groups. Let me delete this test group. And then what they're about, and then you can choose to join in on those groups and to chat in those groups. So just give me 1 second here. Test group. Okay. If I remember to do this now, then I won't do it, but I'll do it later. Okay. So the other areas that I'm going to tell you about are your profile. You'll be able to go up here to your where it says, it'll say your name. It will say wholeness and then your name. And then you'll be able to see all the fields here to customize your profile, to change your profile photo, change your name as it's displayed, change your privacy settings, check your messages, link up with friends, check on your friends' requests, check on your groups. And there's notifications, so each time that there's something new, you'll see notification icons pop up. Again, you can go through all your settings here. You can go through your media. You have albums, you have videos. We've done some restrictions on how much you can actually upload. And that's because we don't want to get really bloated, because the profiles are really set to be minimalist. Just give the information about the individual and what they're really about. Also allow them to have a common area with albums and things, so their pictures, and then have their badges and things, so that way, a person can understand, if they've progressed or how far they've progressed on the platform if they're looking to get that information. And then that's it. Not so much as the glitter and all sorts of different things flying all over the screen and all that, because we have to host all of that. So in this case, we really made things really streamlined, and it gives you everything that you need, and it's very clean. So you can go here and you can change all your settings, and you can do your stuff to moderate your page as much as possible. Another, let me blow this up because I know some are like, okay, this screen is super small. And I was like, thank you. You should have done that a while ago. This screen here, so that, again, to repeat, this is the area that you're going to get all your settings for your profile, okay? And all things that you could change and customize to be specific to you. And then here in Spirit Tech specialists are specialists that are affiliates with us. They're members of the platform that we're assisting with expanding and are assisting us with expanding. And part of that is to assist anyone who chooses to have a specialist in actually developing their mind, body, and soul. So if you want someone to do that or assist you with that, then you can go to the directory, which is the place that I'll go first. So I go here to, and that's actually the information page, and I'm going to the directory. I probably should put that as first. So those are little tweaks and things that you work out, like what should be there, what should be there. You do your best, but there's always things. So you can go to the Spirit Tech directory, and then you can see all the Spirit Techs. I have to make this page a little bit smaller so we can navigate it. But you'll see all the Spirit Techs and their bios, and we'll be linking their profile pages. We couldn't do it now because they weren't in the platform completely yet. So now that they're in the platform, then we'll be linking their profile pages. And they have a brief bio on themselves, let you know what they're all about, where they're at, if they choose to share that information. And then you can look through the individuals that are here that have agreed that if you contact them or if you want to link with them for expansion, that they will assist you with that expansion and give you the step-by-step on what you need to do to activate your vehicle, especially in consideration to what's going on with you now. And then how they determine that is here, they may ask you to fill out a specialist vibratory analysis form, which is here. And then what that form is going to do is going to give them the information that they need to give you a good analysis of exactly what's going on with you and what they suggest you probably should tighten up on, fix, or not do, or whatever. All the variations, right? And that actually, actually I could go through a couple other things. Let's go through the footer really briefly. Down here, you're getting about us. This is if, somebody asks you about us, just send them here. It's like, yo, what about them? And like, don't ask me, go here. I'm going to be tightening this up a little bit because we were just putting some placeholders in there. I'm going to have that as a community banner up there. So let me put a note for myself to tighten that banner up there because we were holding that as space. But about us, it's going to be more beneficial to show everyone. And that was supposed to go on the bottom. So here we have Spirit Text. You can get to that area. Actually, the website, so that should take you, actually get you to information about Spirit Text. So if you're looking for yourself to, if you're looking yourself to understand what Spirit Techs are and you want to become a Spirit Tech, you can do that by hitting Spirit Techs down in the footer. And then you can also do that by going up here and then going to Spirit Tech Specialist, because that's just going to give you this page, which is going to give you information. Also in the footer, there's more information about the affiliations. There's some information about donations if you want to contribute. There's the media resources, which we're building out. There's some terms and conditions and privacies and cookies. There's where you report your issues. Here's where you want to get in contact. If you want to get in contact with us, I showed you that page earlier. This gives you shipping information and return information if you purchase something from the store. This talks about payment security, gift vouchers, and frequent asked questions, which we're getting finished. This is our Facebooks and Vimeo and Tumblr and etc. Actually, Twitter information or how you would navigate to our profiles there. And that covers everything. Also, if you wanted to send us a message, give us a holler, you can do so here and we get that message. And also, if you wanted to hyper yourself back to the top because you were at the bottom, you can just click that there. There's tons more stuff, not only coming, but also in here that, you just need to find those jewels. And as we keep going, because obviously now we're finally out of developing, which is just a whole nother segment of things, you'll see these areas such as the blog and the banners area populate with some really neat stuff that's going to, give you nonstop information and expansion about yourself.